Here is the pond. I would say probably 3/4 done. Although that's going to be disappointing to hear because I think everyone wants it done immediately. So this is the waterfall, and it's tough to build a little bit of the lower part, and then I think I need to put one more rock kind of towards the top to shed water out over the side there. But it's looking better. I've rebuilt it several times. And then it comes down into, well, kind of right in this area here. That's going to be another waterfall, kind of like a little sheet that goes out and then drops down into this area, which is the upper pond. And then that goes into this little section here, which is kind of a shale stream. This is kind of my tribute to Walnut Creek, where we used to catch salamanders and snakes and such. So it's a slate waterfall, and then that will drop down into the main pond. So that's the lower, larger, I guess, main pond, or maybe it can be just called lower pond. It's about 3 feet deep, and although you can't see all those rocks around the perimeter, they're pretty good sized rocks that have moss on them, which is pretty cool. So hopefully once it fills up, it'll kind of look like they've been around forever. And I think I'm pretty much done in the lower pond here, although who knows, I'll probably reduce some of it. And then here's a skimmer right there, and that will skim the surface and draw in all the debris like leaves and such that will fall off of the tree, which is a pecan tree right there with the swing, which we've kept. And then the that slate stream right there is going to shed water, hopefully. There's like a pretty good lip there, and I'm hoping that it'll just shed the water into the lower pond here, kind of like a mini waterfall. I don't know how it's going to work, or if it's going to work, but if it does work, it'd be pretty cool. So there's a little bit of a drop there from that lower lip, that little lip right there, and then the surface of the water should be just below there, maybe about, I don't know, 3 inches below. But it also could not be 3 inches below and just a total mess up. So here's this line that goes into this pump. So there'll be a pump in here that'll draw the water in, and then it goes into this tube. It's 2-inch tube, so it's not too little. And then that goes all the way around up to the waterfall. So if you can see, there is a kind of a reservoir of container that holds the water. So it comes in the back of that thing, pushes the water up, and then flows off and then down and then circulates all the way around. Let's see if I can get some of this moss on here. So you can kind of see, maybe it's got this kind of, it's a green lichen, and it usually takes about 50 years to grow. I found these rocks that had it on there, so it'll look like they've been around for a while. And then what you see here is this rubber bladder, this stuff right here, and then this underlayment, which is a cloth that goes down first, and then you lay down this rubber liner, and then you put rock in, and that protects the rubber from the sun and the UV light, so it doesn't decompose. So it'll extend its life, and then the rock also just serves as a place for good bacteria to grow and for critters to live in, and then eventually be a good place to put plants. Let's see. Oh, and eventually, after I fill everything, then what I'll do is I'll go around and I'll trim back all this excess, and you won't even see it. It'll kind of just disappear. The lower pond here and that shale stream is all one big piece of rubber liner, and then the upper pond is also one piece. So there's really just two pieces of rubber, two pretty big pieces of rubber that make up the pond, and hopefully it doesn't leak. You can see the skimmer, at least the opening anyways, from this side. Tried to hide it a little bit, but not so much that the leaves and debris won't be able to flow into that. And that's what we've got. The rock that I used for the upper waterfall is this Apache Rose rock, and it looked really cool when I found it. I'm hoping it looks pretty cool once water gets on it. Then there's this kind of brownish rock that I put in the upper pond, and like I said, I still have to finish this area here. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I've got lots of rock left to work with. Actually, all the rock I got on Craigslist for either free or near free with my great negotiating skills. So I still have a bunch of, I don't know, just kind of varieties of different rock to work with to finish this off. But I like this rock that's left here, and I just don't know what to do with it. And then there's some slate here, flagstone that's around. Been trying not to use that. I've been trying to use mostly slate, but it's kind of hard to work with because it's very sharp. And then this stuff here is just the river rock that I can use to kind of fill in stuff. So I'm not really sure how crazy I am about, you know, how this looks, but you know, it is what it is at this point. I built up a little retaining wall initially just to hold the pile of dirt, and now I never was really thrilled with it. That's why I put in this Apache Rose boulders, which were just mothers to get back here, to kind of make it look like it's a little bit more natural than just some kind of heaving volcano of rock. But I still think it looks a little bit like a heaving volcano of rock. And then I've got this brown rock in here that I've got that transitions into a slate color, which then transitions into this river rock with this kind of granite boulder with that green lichen on it. So it's either going to look really cool, or it's going to look really stupid, because there's just a variety of different kinds of rock, which I don't know if you really see that in nature. The retaining block, like I said, it's obviously not natural, but this, what you call it, it's a Hassayampa creeper, is a vine that you can see it's grown in pretty well. I'm going to plant that all along here, and all this stuff really should just kind of go away. What I did do is I've left a little cavity of dirt between the retaining wall and the rubber liner, and so it'll be a planter, and I'll be able to plant plants, and then those will grow in. So all of this will kind of disappear as far as, you know, seeing, you know, retaining wall block, and definitely the liner will go away. And I've still got this little section here to do, and I still have this section inside this upper pond to do right in here with rock, which is probably what I'm figuring out to do with this rock here, is to put it in up here. And then this reservoir of for the waterfall, that will, like I said, eventually just kind of be blended in with all the growth of greenery. So, like I said, it's probably 3/4 of the way done, and then I can fire this up, which quite frankly I'm scared to death to do. I've actually enjoyed working on this thing. I'm not really looking forward to actually turning it on, because there's a really good chance it's just not gonna work the way I want it to work. I was pretty pleased with this exterior rock here around this shale. It's kind of fit in very nicely. Again, I don't know if it looks supernatural or anything, but I think it's pretty cool looking. So that's the pond, and hopefully it worked out good.